So, hi. Um, this stream is a test, but at the same time, I'm trying out. I'm testing things out so that I can start streaming on this new series about our own sources. Um, I do not have all the sources, or we do not have all the sources that we had, or that we did or wrote 30 years or more ago. But from what we have, I'll try to go through them and try to understand them because I'm not able to write the code that we used to write. Um, Myself and Crane, both of us has lost memory of those times. However, some of the sources are actually quite good for learning, I noticed, because they are just tests. For example, test how to open a library, how to write to a certain file, or how to load a file, and things like that. So they are short sources. So yeah, it should help people, you guys that are interested into coding in 68,000 coding, to learn more. I mean, so I'm taking advantage of two things. Basically, I try to learn or learn our own code, and at the same time, hopefully, I will be able to teach you or learn with you guys. Maybe you can also help me out in learning what we did. Um, Yeah, that's what happens when you do something fast and you need to edit your own code. Thanks, Chris. Crane. So just to make you aware, so the sources are not so nice. Okay, this I prepared it so that you can see, we can start working on it. Actually, the sources are like this. Okay, no format, nothing. But this is version number 2 of alert, so there was more than one version. I believe this source was not written by me. I don't think I write like that. So I believe this was written by Crane. However, we start with number 1. So all I did is formatted it. That's all I did, and I checked the sources for comments or text that might be rude, because we had lots of these in them. So in doing this, I hope um, that, I mean, in this test stream, I'm trying to see exactly what I really need to start this series, because although I prepared, I mean, I know that I'm able to stream and I'm able to um, show the Amiga and maybe assemble, but I would need other stuff, other things. So yeah, we will see what we need as we go along, so that I get a better idea of what needs to be prepared for the actual stream when I start doing this, um, um, you know, as much as possible, because I do not want to do it once a week like I'm doing the 68,000 course, because this is more like us doing stream, and at the same time, why not stream it? No, um, so that's the main aim of it. I will have my browser open because I will need the browser quite a bit. Um, Let me format things the way I want so that I can work, or we can work the right way. Can you please tell me if you see the text properly? I mean, the scrolling text on the right hand side, because that's always seems to be a problem. I don't know if I fixed that issue that I had or not, um, but I'm hoping I did. Okay, and they are visible. There you can read them, the messages. Okay, perfect. So that's one thing. Now I need yeah I need there's something that I need to do this, which is the libraries. Uh, we will need this, and we will need how to go to it. So if we type, give me a second so that I bring the screen next to me now. Yeah, I will increase the font size, but we haven't started there yet. So what we will need is the Amiga um, reference manuals. We will need definitely this, and I believe this is the URL. Yeah. So we need the root of this, and we need the include and autodocs, and then we need from the include and autodocs we will need the references, and then we include in the structure, not the structure, the function offsets. This we will be using a lot, just to show you and explain to you. The Amiga libraries, okay. Let's talk. Let's hold on. Uh, Sorry, I have to. I forgot to close the sound of my other PC. The Amiga libraries. Oh, why it's not doing it? Okay, so okay, so the Amiga libraries. Okay, let's take one which is famous, which we will use a lot, the Exec Library. Just to explain how this works. So this is the exec, okay? So these are all the calls related to the exec library. So each library has got an address that you have to go to, okay? So what we normally do is we call this number, okay? So if we want to, let's say, open what is this one, okay? Old open library, because I believe this is what we are using in our case, because we had Kickstart 1.2 and Kickstart 1.3. So the library is minus, that's a minus, not just not a dash, it's a minus hex 198. Okay, so when we do a JSR to the library, when we get the exec base, okay, we will be doing JSR minus 198. You can do, I believe, this, but this can change. This is the actual right pointer that, or relative jump that you should be doing, because that's what um, is the correct way of doing it. I'm not sure if this is fixed, and if it changes. I wouldn't bet on it. Um, I always remember doing this. So maybe somebody can say this. So I will jump. So I will be switching from one screen to another. I'm going to increase the font here now. Uh, is that fine? Is it readable enough? Okay, perfect. So now what we will also need, and it is very handy to have, is the ASM1, okay, or DevPack manual, but I'm going to use the ASM1 assembler. So it's the ASM1 assembler manual, which I do have. Okay, and for those that have never seen it, I show it to you when I try to show it to you. There you go. And enable editing. Okay. The manual was very small, but when it was scanned on A4. So one page is like that. And this is the scanned version with the text. So basically I can do Control F and look for section. It's a assembler directive section, and I can, yeah, I will increase the screen, don't worry. But we are looking for this one. So let me increase it, fit to it, and maybe make this smaller. I don't know, can you still see it? Okay, so the section directive, okay, tells us where we tell the assembler where in memory we want our code or our data. So it takes two parameters, okay? Forget the label, okay, because you can label it, but we are not going to go there. So section, then you see that there's a name, okay, and this is you can see that there's name, and then there's a type. So name, okay, is any string. You can say, okay, here this is my code. I do not like to use spaces or things like that. The maximum I do is small letters, capital letters. Some people you can use quotes, but it's up to you. It's a string, okay? Then you say type, and type can be code, data, or um, BSS, which is create a section containing uninitialized data. So there's nothing. It's an empty data where probably you load things into it. Um, let's see if I can make it a bit bigger. Yeah. The thing is, I will have to scroll. Fit. Let's see, fit one page. No, that is not right. But I can make it fit with. Okay, that's better. Okay, so so if we have our code, then we say code. So here we type code as type. However, you can also, instead of just typing code, you can type code underscore and then P, C, or F. So P is for public, C is for chip memory, and F is for fast memory. Okay, so the reason why I did this, because I noticed that in our code, okay, in our code, The first one is csect. This is a Sika directive. It's the Sika assembler basically. So this is how old it is. This code must be one of the first codes that we actually wrote. That's why, because we then changed into using devpacks. I think devpack 2, we started using devpack 2, but I think this one is Sika, and definitely this code is Crane. Definitely, it's not mine. I know how he writes, and the reason why I'm noticing the labels, I do not do labels like that, for sure. L1 is not something that I will do. But anyway, so this csect text comma 0 needs to be changed to section, okay? Whatever, Crane, I think, just put text there. Can you imagine? He didn't even name the code or something. And then 0 probably meant where in memory it goes. But in our case, it will be a string of something. I mean, I don't know, we can say Phaze101 code, and then it will be code underscore, and I will use P. So it can load anywhere in memory as long as there is the memory, okay? So unfortunately, I cannot have everything on screen, so I will have to be swapping between one window and another each time I'm doing this. And I don't like the fact that it is so. Maybe I can do. Okay, I tell you what we can do. We minimize it and we minimize this too, so that when I call them, they come back to the right window. As I said, this is a test, so please bear with me for it's just I'm also noticing learning the setup that I need, and I'm going to take a note of this. So we need the ASM one in browser in PDF, and the Amiga libraries offset table. By the way, the Amiga books are vital. Okay, so you, like us, we mainly code it using the hardware. It's very rare that, well, not really. We have code that use the Amiga OS, but most of the time we use the hardware directly. So the Amiga hardware manual is an essential thing. The 68,000 book is an essential thing, and then the includes and autodocs, okay, reference manual is the second most essential thing, okay? Um, so that you know where the libraries are and you start getting the feeling of what each one of them do, because the Amiga has got lots of libraries, not like the Commodore 64, for those that are coming from 8-bit. So this one, we need to change it into section, and then we remove that and that. We call it Phaze101 code. Okay, and then we say it's code underscore P for public. Okay, so that's the first thing that we need to change in the code, so that we tell the assembler where we are going to assemble the code. I'm just going to do some comment, of course. Because I don't like code without even having what it does, and I'm preparing it to know what it does. This is definitely original code by Crane, definitely. And now I'm going to say thank you, Crane, but I'm going to update it. And then we write what it is, because right now still I do not know what it is or what it does. However, so I am going to save it. I'm going to go to the Amiga. Yeah, I'm going to start the assembler. I'm going to get that file, Phaze101, Twitch stream, alert 1. That is our code, and we can assemble it, I hope. Let's see the magic of what Crane did. Oops. Sorry, but I have to laugh at this. Yeah. A good one. So let's see. If I didn't check which line it was. Line 55. Okay. So line 55. Yeah. So somewhere here he needs the directive even, and I will write it. It should update. I think it will update our. I should not write it capital. Even. Even means align the address to be in always in how to say, always even. Okay, because remember the 68,000 only wants addresses in even addresses. So that's why it gave that error, because it encountered an RTS. I believe there are too many RTS in this code. For example, I do not understand why there's an RTS here, but we'll figure it out. It shouldn't be here, but anyway, we'll see. We'll see what Crane did. I think I'm going to have a laugh because this is really an old code. So I need to update the code, and if I go switch back to, let's see if I think Visual Code is quite intelligent. It should have updated. Yeah, you see, even is here. So that's quite handy. So by the way, the format that I'm using here is not the same format that I'm using in when I'm doing the 68,000 course by Fabio Giucci. Okay, it is I'm using the Visual Code with an extension. I forgot to mention this. Actually, this should be. I'm using the Amiga assembly extension. Okay, so this is why it is able to understand 68,000 code. However, this extension expects also to use VASM and as an assembler, but I do not want to use the assembler of on a PC. I do not want to assemble on a PC because I do not want to use FSUAE, but I want to use WinUAE. I want to use my own Amiga version, my development version. And anyway, there's not much difference. I mean, I will assemble on the Amiga instead on the 68 on a PC, and Vesim is DevPack 2 compatible. I'm not sure it is Sika and ASM1 compatible, so I'm do not want to go into those things. But yeah, and yeah, it's able to. You see, it's going to complain. I actually didn't because I haven't assembled yet. Down here it tells us Amiga assembly, okay, and please note the Amiga doesn't have carriage return and line feed, line feed and carriage return. It's only line feed, okay? So remember, this is quite crucial. You have to edit an Amiga uh, text file only having line feed, not like DOS. It's same like Unix, okay? The Amiga has lots in common with I don't want to say Linux, but Unix. Okay, so let's return back to our Amiga. So now it should assemble, I hope. And let's see if it's going to crash. So let's run it. I really like Visual Studio Code used for 68 assembly coding. Yeah, it's good, but for the book, I have to use the assembler because the book talks about the assembler, so I have to follow that. Um, Davide, this is a test, okay, what I'm doing here. It's for me to understand what I need to start this type of stream. So it's I will not do more than an hour actually. So I'm just going through and see if I will be able to assemble and all the tools that I need. That's the main thing. Uh, so it assembled. Let's execute it. And there you go. This is what he made. He was testing the alert box on the Amiga. So this alert box is the box that gives you guru meditation, but you can actually program it. And I have a feeling why he was testing this. Um, yeah, this is funny. I have a big feeling why he was testing this. Yeah, not no. Yeah, I know why you were testing this. Yeah, but I will not say. Let's say that. You don't know why you are testing it. Crane, you don't know why you were testing it. Yeah, I have a feeling why you are testing it. It remind me, boom, as soon as I saw it, it reminded me of something. Anyway, so now we need to understand what he was doing, and let's go to Visual Code. I don't think he likes too much the guru meditation. I think he was running a joke. Actually, it's not a joke. He was inventing a joke. Okay, so that's why it's called alert, and it's alert 1. Display an alert box. Now, I'm going to skip this part because I'm noticing something that already doesn't make sense, okay? So I'm going to skip this part. I will come to it later. I'm just going to talk here. So everything uh, of the Amiga, okay, starts from address 4. Now, this should be, I mean, I would have written it in hex, not in decimal, first of all. And instead of writing move a.l and then $4, 2a6, I would have written it as $4.w. The reason why is it's a low, the reason why it takes less bytes if you do .w here. And the reason why it's 4 is a low address. I do not believe you can do .b, but .w for sure. So basically, you're moving an address, okay, from location 4. So you're moving 4 bytes here because it's long. So location 4, location 5, location 6, location 7. I don't think so, Crane. That's what it's doing. But we will figure it out. I'm just starting from here because I think it makes more sense for the code to start explaining from here, because this is the first thing that normally is done. But yeah, you didn't do that. So this is instead of using as an instruction, instead of using 4 bytes for address 4, it's using 2 bytes. But the contents is 4 bytes moving into A6. Okay, so still we're moving 4 bytes into A6, and A4 in a way is the exec base, is the only address that is fixed on the Amiga. Now, I believe this is down here. So he's going to open the intuition library, I'm assuming, okay? He's pointing the address. So let's see if you can see it all on the top. So he's pointing, doing A1. A1 is loaded with the address of this string. So in the Amiga, you tell him which libraries you want to open, and it's a string, it's a name, and the intuition library is written like that, intuition.library. And you have to terminate it with a null. And I would also insert a null here because you don't know. It's not always intuitive. So like that, you are aligning, and I call this instead of add lib name, library name. Definitely, this is naming of Crane, definitely. So then, so here we are telling which library we want to open. Okay. The 0 is used to tell the library function, the open library function. Why did I put space there? Sorry, tab. The 0 is used to tell which version of the library. You can be specific. So each kickstart has got a different version of the library. So you can tell the kickstart, hey, I want only the version that is in Kickstart 3.1. Okay, and 3.1 has got a version number, and you enter that here. But if you entered 0 and he's entering 0, he's clearing the value in the 0, so it's at 0, then any library, you can open any library, whatever there is in the Kickstart, you can open it. So no version, no library version. And then, as we saw, minus 198. Where did I put it? Yeah. Minus 198 is open old library, and you can see that the library name needs to be in A1. Okay, now we can, maybe I should better open another tab, another copy so that we have them both on the screen. Paste. Now we can let's remove like that. Let's see what it gives me if I do that. Oh, too big. It's not going to work as I thought. Okay, don't worry. Let's go to the root of it. Okay, so we need to get the libraries. Okay, what does the library do? So let's look it up. So I think it's the autodocs there. Yeah, and we did intuition. Okay, now we need to find old open library. Okay, so old open library. Where is old open library? Not intuition. This is in exec. Sorry. As you can see, there are lots of libraries. Each library has got lots of functions, lots of methods. Okay, so old open library. Where is old open library? There it is. Okay, so old open library takes pointer. So unfortunately, the functions of the Amiga, the libraries, they are described using C. So you need also to have a little bit, know a little bit of C. So it's saying that it returns a pointer, you know, in A1. Okay, so A1, sorry, that A1 needs to be a pointer, sorry, and that it returns, let's say, a structure of the library in the 0. Okay, so we are passing, I do not know why he cleared the 0 when it doesn't take that parameter. This is release. Okay, this 1.0 release of the Amiga system had an incorrect version of Open Library that did not check the version number during the library open. This obsolete function is provided so that, okay, so even the wrong he even used the wrong open library. So basically, we should not be using this. We should be using this. Yeah, you see, it's version. So now we need to find what is open library. I believe I saw it earlier. Close, open device. Let's look for it, because as I will never find it. Open library. Next one, there it is. So we should use -228. So that's something that we need to fix in our code. So back to Visual Code. And we use -228, okay? And the A6 is the base, okay? So remember, everything is against the base address of the exec. So this is now open library. Actually, let's say specify it exec open library. And what he's doing, what it returns, okay, it returns something in the 0, and normally that's a structure to the library, and in this case it's the intuition library. So we are storing the intuition in A6, basically, the intuition base address. Let's put storing. Okay, so now, first we open the exec library. We use the exec library to open the intuition library. Now, because we had to open the uh, intuition library through the exec, because the only base address that we know is that of the exec, which is address 4. Now we need to open the intuition. Now we need to make a call in the intuition library, and that is done. We can do that because now we have the intuition base. So you always need the base address of a library. Which in this case, we started in A6. So let's see what minus 5a is, because in intuition. So returning back to where we were. Okay, and this time we need to be in intuition. What was the number? I already forgot, my God. Not the Amiga. Minus 5a. So we are intuition. We need to find intuition library now. There you go. Intuition library. And now we need to find minus 5a, and that should be here. Okay, so there you go. It displays an alert. Okay, so I'm going to copy this actually and put it in the documentation, in the comments. So as you see, we are dissecting our own code, trying to understand what we are doing here. So we know that the 0 is the alert number, 80 is the string, and D1 is the height. Okay, so in the 0, we are passing a null. So basically, no alert number. Here we're passing the string address of our text, and the text is here. We will go through this and see what it does exactly, but for now, just bear with me. And we are passing 50, which is the height according to this. Height can be, how to say, I do not know if this is in pixel, etc. We will look into the documentation. So height of alert, I believe. So let's check what D1 is for. So we go back to the manual. This time we need to check this one. We are in the exec. So now we need to check the intuition, and it is display alert. Okay, so alert number, we know it is 0. Okay, string, we know we loaded it with a string. Okay, and now height. Now D1 is height. Let's see what it means as height, where it talks about height. The last argument describes how many video lines. So we are talking raster lines tall you want the alert display to be. So it is 50 in our case. New for version. So you see, this is library version 36. Alerts are always rendered in Topaz 8, 80 column font. Okay, regardless of the system default. Also, and this I remember actually, also recovery alerts are displayed in Ember, while dead end alerts, this is the actual GUR when you'll never recover, while the Ember ones you recover are so while dead end alerts are still red. Alerts no longer push down the application screen. Yes, this I remember, and it used to do it on my Kickstart 1.2. But from 1.3, I think this was not anymore the case. So the alert now is on its own screen, blank screen, while Kickstart 1.2, I believe, it used to like scroll down the screen and open the window for you. So now, rather, I mean, I think it's easier and it takes less resources rather than they appear alone on a black. They appear alone on the black screen. Also, new for version 36, alerts block each other out, and input an alert is deprived of the rest of the system. Internal input buffers still cause alert clicks to be processed by applications sometimes. So that's the height. Now, what would be interesting to know is here it displays what actually. Let's see. This is going to be difficult. What these numbers are and why he has put 55 here, why he has put 20, and all that things. So I'm just trying to see how I can do this. Maybe closing this window. Not like that. But yeah, and now this maybe we'll be able to see or read. Yeah. Okay. And now I have to make it smaller though. Yeah, that should do it. Are you able to read it? Are you able to read the text of the? Okay, perfect. So what it says. So okay, creates an alert display with the specified message. Okay. If the system can recover from okay whatever, I want to start understanding. Okay, alert number is a long value. Okay, so which we did historically related to the value sent to the alert routine, but the only bits that are pertinent to this routine are the alert type bits, which you will need to look up, and I'm not going into that. These bits must be set to either recovery alert for alerts from which the system may safely recover, or dead end alerts for those fatal alerts. So basically, I think even if you can specify this as an alert box, um, as an alert. But anyway, we're passing 0. These states are described in the paragraph above, whatever. Um, there is a third type of alert, the DAISY alert, which is used only by the exec. I think that is an alert after alert after alert. The famous guru that continues to chain, basically, I think. The string argument points to an alert message string. Okay, the alert message string is composed of one or more substrings. Okay, so actually we have two strings here, so we know we have two of these. Okay, each of which is composed of the following components. So first one, okay, so the 55, a 16-bit x coordinate and an 8-bit y coordinate. Okay, so I am more picky on the format of the code than Crane is. So define constant byte here. I will tab it. I will remove this and this I will copy it from here and put it there. And then we have the Y. So 8-bit Y coordinate. So notice one is 16-bit, the other one is 8-bit. So why I'm saying this? Because if you notice, one is dc.w and the other one is define constant byte dot b. Okay, so this is crucial in when defining these things. You need to, realize that you need to do a .w, not a .b in the first one. Okay. Then we have our string, I assume. Okay, so describing where the alert will display, describing where on the alert display you want this string to appear. The Y coordinate describes the offset to the baseline of the text. Okay, so we can play with those values basically. Then the bytes of the string itself, which must be null terminated and with a byte of 0. So this is our string and that 0 should be here. My God, Crane, you do make it difficult to some people to understand your code. I know you're listening and I'm teasing you. Okay, so that's it basically. And you will see that there's another define constant word now. So we are repeating, we're starting another string, and this one has got 55. Okay, and then we have another. That's a 16-bit X coordinate, and then we have another 8-bit Y coordinate. So now define constant byte, and I believe that 0 should be up here, comma 0, and we remove the other 0. I'm thinking I'm using the Amiga here, pressing Shift and arrow. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Okay, so what it does, I skipped something, that 255. Okay, so we need to continue to read. So this is a string, and then we see 255. That 255, let's see what it means. Then the byte of the string itself, which must be null terminated, which you already read. Lastly, the continuation byte, which specifies whether or not there's another substring following this one. So if this is 0, then there isn't any more strings. But if it's any other number, Crane used 255, then we know we have another string. If the continuation byte is non-zero, there is another substring, which we do. Here we have another substring to be processed in this alert message. If the continuation byte is 0, this is the last substring in the message. Okay, so what we did is he specified another 55. So we are continuing, we are telling the alert box that we have another string. So we have another string here. Then we have the same thing, the 16-bit X coordinate and 8-bit X coordinate. Then our string, okay? Then after that, we have we do have the null termination. Yeah. So we have the string which is null terminated. Then we have at 0, which tells the alert box that there is no more strings, okay? And then the 0, so then the last argument, hi, discuss how many video lines told you want the alert to be displayed. No, I think we can do without that 0. I think this last 0. I think this is extra. Yeah, I believe this is extra. Because if there's no more, nothing. I see. You did DCB 0 so that you even the code, but actually that's the right way of doing it. Okay, so now we can understand what the display alert is doing. And have I been more than 1 hour? Because I really do not want to do more than 1 hour because I don't want it to be a full stream. Trying to understand how long I've been. Yeah, I've been 1 hour actually. So I'm going to stop here. But this is the type of this is what I will be doing and showing, going through our sources and explaining what we did. There are lots of sources, even though I do not have them all. There's a lot, and I spent some time trying to organize them at least by category. Don't get me wrong. Don't So a directory can have a lot. Let's say copper, for example, has got a lot of examples related to copper. Okay, so and I only did one floppy disk, okay, of the sources. So I didn't go, and that's already enough to go through many things. So yeah, I'm going to stop here and yeah, and call it a test stream. But in a way, I think it is not bad. Um, how it went. I expected to have more problems, but so far so good, I think. Anyway, thank you very much, and thank you for being here, um, and for supporting me, um, and following me. All I ask you is please follow us on Twitch and on Facebook, and do a like or subscribe to our channel. I need to reach um, I think 75 subscribers in in Twitch, and I would appreciate if you subscribe to the channel, um, so that I can have better option, because right now I think Twitch is limiting me of what I can do, um, and that's the thing. Thank you very much, and see you in the first stream of this series, and it probably be, I haven't decided, but it might be tomorrow. So yeah, thank you very much. Bye bye.